In most of the G Suite apps, we have what are called add-ons. And these are programs that other people have created that work with your app and make it a little bit better. I'm going to show you some of my favorites. The first one that I love is called Autocrat, and it's a mail merge tool. So for this example, what I'm going to do is take a spreadsheet that I have of Schoology parent access codes, and I want to merge that into this letter over here that is to parents giving them their parent access code. So the first thing that you have to do to get started is create your template. Create your doc that you want this data to go into. So I have everything drafted. The next thing that I need to do is type in the tags where I would like information to flow into. So for example, after dear, I would like the parent name. So I'm going to click after dear. And if you've done this before in Word, you've been able to just select the tags from a list in the ribbon. Here you have to type them in. So we're going to do that by typing in 2 carets pointing to the left, and then we put in the column header. So in this case, the column header in my spreadsheet is parent name. And then I type in 2 carets that are pointing to the right. That's how we create our tags. So then down here, I want to include the student name. So I'm going to do my 2 carets pointing to the left, and I'll start with first name, and then 2 carets pointing to the right. I'll add a space, and then I do 2 carets pointing to the left again. Last name is the name of this header, and then 2 carets pointing to the right. And then finally, I want my parent access code. So I do 2 carets, parent access code, and my 2 carets pointing to the right. Now my template is ready to go. I can add a name down here if I want to, and I'm ready to start my mail merge. So I'm going to go back over to my spreadsheet, and I'm going to click Add-ons. If you don't already have Autocrat installed, you'll need to go down to Get Add-ons. This will open up the G Suite Marketplace. Just do a quick search for Autocrat and follow the instructions to install. Once you've added it into your Google Sheets, you don't have to do this step ever again. Once you have it installed, you go back to Add-ons and you choose Autocrat and then click Launch. Here it will show us a list of existing jobs that we have for this spreadsheet if we had any. We don't, so I'm going to click New Job. Now I can give this job a name, so maybe I'd like to name this Schoology Parent Letter. Then I can click Next. Here, it's going to ask me to choose the template that I would like to use from my Google Drive. So if I haven't used the template before, I need to click From Drive and then find that file. Once I find the file, I select it, and it will say underneath, Currently Selected Template. Now I can click Next. Here it has all of the tags that I have in my template. So when I imported this, it looked through the whole template and found any tags. So here I just need to cross-check and make sure everything's okay. First, we need to make sure we select the correct Merge tab. So for this document, Schoology Codes is the name of the tab that has the information that I want to merge. So that's correct. Then it'll ask you how many header rows you have. Sometimes you have more than one header row and you need to adjust this number. And then you need to tell it which row your data starts on. These are usually pretty accurate. It'll read your spreadsheet for you, but just double check and make sure it's correct. Then it found the tags that are in my spreadsheet and the tags that are in my template. And it tried to match it for me. I just need to make sure that it matched it correctly. So parent name in my docs template matches to parent name in my spreadsheet. First name, last name, parent access code, parent access code. So if you had a typo or anything on your template, you can still use that tag just by selecting the correct one. Once this is all correct, click Next. Then it's going to ask you for the file name of the documents that it generates. So I might just name this again, Schoology Parent Letter. If I want individual files for each document, one thing I might do is add a tag to this. So I may want the parent name or the student name to be part of this file name. So if I wanted the student name, I can click this blue bar over here on the side, and I can click on last name, which is our student last name, and I can paste that in. And then I can find the student first name in that list. I click on it and it copies, and then I can paste it in. For some reason, if you just try to type the tag like we did in our template, it won't actually show the last name and first name. So keep that in mind. Then it's going to ask if you want this to generate a Google Doc or a PDF. I'm going to stick with a Google Doc so I can edit anything if I need to. Below that, we select our output. Multiple output mode means that it will create a separate file for each doc that it runs. Single output mode means that it will put each letter as a separate page in one document. So if you're going to print these, your best option is single output mode. You won't always use this, but for this method, when you're printing and sending something, you want that single output mode. It will print a lot better in your Google Drive. Then it asks if you want page breaks between your data rows. Your data rows are the different rows in your spreadsheet. Yes, we want a separate page for each person, so I'm going to keep that with yes, and then click Next. Here I can organize where this file goes in my Google Drive. So if I want it to go in a specific place, I can choose a specific place for it to land. The dynamic folder reference gets a little technical. We're not going to use it for this. Just know that if you want, you can have individual files go in separate folders. So if I had a folder for each of my students, I could have each file go into that student's folder. If you ever want to take a look at that, let me know. The merge conditions we are not going to use for this example. If you want to, we're also not going to do this. You can have it send the document to the parents. So if you have the parent email in this spreadsheet, you can have it automatically email the parent with this information. The job triggers we're not going to worry about for this one, and we're going to go ahead and click Save. So once I see my job, I can go ahead and run this mail merge simply by clicking play. So I'm going to go ahead and click play. I could also preview the job details if I wanted to. This will tell me all of the settings that I chose when I was creating the mail merge. Let's go ahead and click play. All right, the job is done. So I'm going to go ahead and close out of this. And then you'll see right here on my spreadsheet, it shows that it ran the merge for me and it was successful. So if I want to look at if this was a separate doc for each student, I would see each individual doc here. These should all be the same. So I'm going to click on the doc. And here we see it merged, Dear Fred and Wilma Carpenter, the student Toby Carpenter, and then the parent access code. And then if I keep scrolling down, you'll see there's a separate page for the next parent with the student's name and the Schoology code, etc. You can easily print this out. You have separate pages for each person, and then you can mail them or distribute them in any way you would like. For the next example of Autocrat, I'm going to show you how you can also combine forms into this process. So maybe I have teachers signing up for PD Day, and as they fill out this form, it goes into the spreadsheet that then merges into this doc that I can then find in my Google Drive, and I can also email to the teachers. So let's go ahead and set up our Autocrat in our Google Sheet. So I'm going to go to Add-ons, and then Autocrat, and then Launch. I don't have any jobs set up yet, so I'm going to select New Job. Again, I'm going to go a little bit faster this time. My job name will be PD Day Schedules. I'm going to select my template that I've already created. This time I'm going to choose the multiple output mode. So we're going to have a separate doc for each person. I'm going to put this in a specific folder in my Google Drive called PD Day Schedules. And then I'm going to set merge conditions. So I want every time somebody fills out this form, I want it to run the doc. So I'm going to click Add Condition. And I'm just going to say column timestamp is not null, meaning once there's something in that timestamp column, go ahead and run this mail merge. I am going to share the doc via email so you can see what that would look like. The doc is editable, so if they want to add to it, they can. They can reshare if they would like. And I can send it from a generic no reply address, so I might choose to do that. And then I can put in my tags if I want to. So in the to field, I want to choose their email address. So here I'm going to put that. The subject for this will be PD Day template. So those people who are getting this email right now know what it is. And then I can say, see your PD Day schedule attached. I can have it run on a form trigger. So I can say, yes, I would like this to run anytime the form goes through. So I am going to turn that on to have it run for me. And then I'm going to save. Once I run this, you're going to see that documents are going to appear over here in this PD Day Schedules folder in my Google Drive. So I'm going to click Run. And I see that it ran both of those for me. I can see on the spreadsheet that they were both successful, and then I see that they've been generated over here in my Google Drive. So if I open one of these up, I can see that it correctly merged in the schedule for this person. Now let me show you what happens when I go ahead and fill out the form. So I'm going to select my choices for each of the different times, and then I click Submit. When I click Submit, you should have seen it pop up down in the spreadsheet. And then if I scroll over, you'll see that it's starting the merge. And as soon as it's successful, we're going to see that doc show up over in our Google Drive. Now it's been successfully created,